Hello and welcome to the External Activities plugin overview video. Also commonly known as the External Learning Activities or Custom Portfolio plugin, today we will provide an overview of what this plugin does, the settings and pages available to site administrators, and the plugin's usage from the administrative and student perspectives. This plugin was developed to allow students to upload their external learning activities conducted outside of the Moodle LMS. It allows students to upload evidences of backdated external learning activities and be awarded with a grade assigned by their markers. The settings can be accessed by site administrators by navigating to the Site Administration menu, clicking the Plugins tab, and scrolling down to the Local Plugins section, where you will find the External Activities link. There are two settings associated with this plugin. The first one, indicated with maximum grade, allows you to define the maximum grade that markers can assign to users when they submit their learning activity evidence submissions. The second setting, indicated with allowed file type, allows you to define which file type extensions users are allowed to upload as their learning activity evidence submissions. Navigating back to the Local Plugins section in the Site Administration Plugins tab, you will notice another page associated with this plugin labeled Manage Learning Areas. This page can also be accessed from the administrator's profile by navigating to the Reports tab and clicking the External Activities link. On this page, you can click the Manage Learning Areas button located in the bottom right. Let's go ahead and add our first learning area by clicking the Add New button on the following page. Let's start by providing a required name and description for this learning area. After saving the learning area, you will notice that it has now been populated on the Manage Learning Areas page. As this table size increases with additional learning areas, you can choose to sort the table columns by clicking the Name and Description column headers. In the Actions column, you can choose to edit the learning area via the Edit icon, or choose to deactivate or activate the learning area via the eye icon. Deactivating the learning area will hide it from the student perspective but still make it available to administrators to view. Finally, you can choose to delete this learning area altogether using the Delete icon. Now that you're familiar with the plugin's use from the administrator perspective, let's go ahead and transition to the student perspective to see how they would interact with this plugin. Logging into the LMS as a student, you can access the Learner dashboard by navigating to the user's profile page. Similar to the admin perspective, in the Reports tab, you can click the External Activities link to be directed to the Learner dashboard. As a reminder, when the administrators click this link from their profile, they are instead directed to the Marking dashboard, which we will come back to in a few moments. From the student account, you will notice the learning areas that are currently available to students to submit their evidences to. By clicking the Add New button in the bottom right of the page, we can add a new learning activity which will serve as an evidence submission for this user. Begin by selecting a required learning area. You can select a maximum of one learning area at a time. Then go ahead and provide a required learning area activity name and description for the marker to view. Afterwards, you may provide the completion date for when this external learning activity was completed. Finally, you may provide a completion evidence upload file abiding by the file types set by the administrator within the plugin settings that we looked at earlier. Users are able to upload a maximum of one file proving their completion evidence. After clicking the Save Changes button, you will be redirected to the Learning Activities page. This page can also be accessed from the Learner dashboard by clicking the Manage Learning Activities button in the bottom left. On this page, learners can also click the link associated with each learning area that has been set up by the administrator to view their learning activity submissions for that particular learning area. This page will redirect them to the Learning Activities page with the learning area filter pre-selected. Alternatively, the user may choose to filter for a different learning area to see evidence submissions of learning activities and filter based on the status of their learning activities either by the all, approved, pending, or rejected statuses. The student may choose to edit their pending learning activity evidence submissions via the edit icon provided in the action column. Or they may choose to delete their activities via the delete icon. Once the submission has either been accepted or rejected by the administrator, this column will display a view link instead, which we will come back and explore later in this video. Now that the student has made their learning activity submission, let's go ahead and switch back to the administrative perspective to grade this user's submission. By navigating back to the marking dashboard, the administrator can filter for specific learning areas and filter via statuses similar to the student perspective. Let's go ahead and grade a pending submission via the grade link provided in the action column. The following page will display the learning activity summary provided by the student. Graders can download the user's completion evidence uploaded file by clicking the file URL associated with the learning activity summary. On this page, you can either choose to grade the user's submission or reject it via the provided buttons. Clicking the Grade button will allow you to provide a grade value and feedback information for the user to view, both of which are required. Clicking the Reject button will only allow you to provide the rejection feedback. After performing either one of these actions, you will notice the status column update to reflect either the approved or rejected status. If approved, the grade column will indicate the provided grade by the marker. This information is also reflected in the student's perspective when they view the Learner Dashboard Learning Activities page. Clicking the View URL from the student's perspective will display the learning activity summary to the user and their awarded grade and feedback, or only their rejected feedback if the submission was rejected. It's worth mentioning that if a user's submission has been rejected, then they will be required to submit a new submission for it to be approved by the graders. For both the learner and marking dashboards, these table columns can be sorted by clicking the column headers provided. There are 4 permissions associated with this plugin, which allow you to configure the plugin's usage for custom roles. The corresponding capabilities are Manage Learning Activities, Manage Learning Areas, Allow Manager Only, and Mark Learning Activities. Thank you for watching the External Activities plugin overview video. We hope that you now have a more comfortable understanding of how this plugin operates.